Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Sarcastic Barman and welcome to my channel. Let's make a video, shall we? Right, so some YouTube and we're going to search for some evolution debunked because I love doing evolution. It's a very fun topic. And we'll just have a bit of a play with the filters because, yeah, upload date first, always better. Recommended sucks. And what do we have here? Evolution and the Big Bang Theory debunked in 5 minutes. Yes, please. This is going to be absolute terrible, isn't it? Oh, fun.
Hey guys, Johan here from Illusionoma Ministries. In this video I will debunk the Big Bang Theory and evolution in under 5 minutes.
Now, I don't want to call you a liar, but you're not going to debunk the Big Bang Theory and evolution in 5 minutes, are you? No, you're not. By the way, this is a drinking video.
All glory to God who led me to this information. First of all, it's interesting to note that the Big Bang Theory was originally proposed by Georges Lemaitre, a Jesuit priest. Jewish mysticism known as Kabbalah also has a theory similar to the Big Bang. So the roots of the Big Bang Theory actually come from religion.
No. And so you're trying to say, you're trying to say that because a Catholic priest, because Lemaitre was also a Catholic priest, came up with the idea of the Big Bang, after also working out that the galaxies were in recession and moving and things like that, that makes it a religious-based idea because there's some similarity to some Jewish stuff. Yeah, that's not a debunking point, mate.
But let's start by asking, where did all the matter and energy come from which made up that which the Big Bang consisted of? If a Big Bang proponent says that all this material and energy came from A, then we must ask, where did A come from?
And yes, we should ask where things came from. And you drag this section out so goddamn long. And the basic answer is, we're not sure where it all came from. We've got a rough sort of hypothesis that the entire universe before the Big Bang, or what there was just basically a big, hot, flat, stretched mess or something. Yeah. This is pre-Big Bang stuff, and it's something we probably won't ever know fully. But with motion science, we can have our best guess, and we can use evidence that we have to hand and look at things. And saying the Big Sky Daddy did it is not an answer. And if you don't believe me, he says the Big Sky Daddy. Watch this.
Let's say it came from B, where did B come from? Let's say B came from C, where did C come from? And so on infinitely. The logical conclusion here is that there must be something outside of our spacetime that is truly infinite and eternal, which created our instance of spacetime. This something was never born, nor will it ever die. This something is God.
Alright. He didn't say Sky Daddy, but we all know that's what he meant.
Then there's the sophisticated and logical laws of nature or laws of physics. How and why were they created, and what is it that's maintaining all these rules? Why doesn't the universe just implode? The obvious answer here is that there is some intelligent design behind all of this, and a being of incomprehensible power that is maintaining all of existence.
You cheeky dickwaffle!
Yes, you cheeky dickwaffle indeed. I thought this was going to be a debunking video, not some wild speculations that there's a big Sky Daddy that's looking after you and we're going to go... Yeah, no.
This is of course God. Finally, the mere fact that we can even imagine a God outside of space-time is proof that he exists. If you were born and lived your entire life in a room with only a chair, table and a lamp, could you ever imagine an airplane or a nuclear reactor?
So your evidence for God is that if you're locked in a room with no outside stimulus, you can't imagine things like airplanes and nuclear reactors. But we can imagine God because God put the idea in our heads. Now, the only problem with this is, did God also put the idea of airplanes in our heads when we live on Earth and we have outside stimulus increasing our imagination? And things like nuclear reactors, submarines, spaceships, hentai porn. I mean, did God put all these ideas into our heads, or do humans just have the ability to imagine things that they didn't think were possible at the time and expand on that imagination? It's a weird little rabbit hole you're trying to go down, and I don't think there's enough in here to put up with it. Oh dear God.
No. We live in a universe that is to us a closed system, meaning we cannot create new matter or energy, or new colors, or new ideas that aren't already possible within the framework of our existence.
I'm sorry, Oregon State University, that new colour of blue you invented in 2009 is obviously not a new blue, it's just a blue that was already there and isn't new at all, and was definitely not classified as a new blue, because otherwise then this guy could be completely and utterly wrong now, wouldn't he? Oh dear. Can we get to the evolution bit now? Because Big Bang, it's not something that's like debunkable or 100% provable either. It's that weird little rabbit hole where your only answer is going to be God did it.
Evolution is another cornerstone of atheism and the secular world, but as with the Big Bang theory, it lays on shaky foundations.
Yay, we finally get to evolution and shaky foundations. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Now, unfortunately, we know this video is only 5 minutes long, so I don't think we're going to fill our evolution bingo cards today, are we? Bollocks.
Those who believe in evolution say the first organism, which was arguably more complex than a nuclear reactor, was somehow randomly formed in an otherwise sterile environment. This alone requires quite a bit of faith to believe in. But we know that organisms survive by eating other organisms or their remains, whether that be microorganisms, animals, or plants. How did the first organism survive in a sterile environment? What did it eat? That is something believers in evolution are not able to answer.
Our survey said...
Well, it was either a choice between Les Dennis and another cheeky dick waffle moment, but yes, we can have a rough idea of what they probably would have ate. And it was more than likely they had hydrogen sulfide or metabolized bloody carbon monoxide. Things that would have been abundant in an early Earth atmosphere and in the waters where we think they were. Especially as we think they were probably living near volcanic vents, which would have heated the water and given them a better environment to thrive in. But you're going down the path of abiogenesis more, not evolution. These two things are not connected. We don't need abiogenesis to happen for evolution to happen. You could still have a god and go, there is life and there is cells. That's fine if that's what you really want. It doesn't change the fact of evolution. I'm going to get... fucking hell. I'm going to need another bottle.
My second point is the LTEE, or Long-Term Evolution Experiment, also known as the Lenski experiment. It is an ongoing experiment where Richard Lenski and his team have grown E. coli bacteria in 12 test tubes for over 30 years and 60,000 generations. The experiment showed that the E. coli bacteria adapted to their environment and became more efficient and larger. One E. coli culture developed the ability to consume citrate in an environment with oxygen, whereas the other bacteria could only consume it in an environment without oxygen. But this was still using DNA already present in its genome. No new DNA was created and no new species was formed in over 60,000 generations, equivalent to 1 million years for humans and other large mammals.
Now, while I'm not going to knock the LTE experiment, it has only been running for about 30 years. I think it's 32 now, but still. That's still only 32 years. You do have to imagine that originally single-celled organisms might have been sitting about for millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of years before they even started to become multicellular organisms. So the 30 years is just like blinking your eye at these cells and saying, well, it's the equivalent of 1 million years for generations. Yet, how the cells multiply in animals that we have today, multicellular animals, through sexual reproduction, and how cells just split and split their DNA, are two very different things, and the level of mutations that come into it. And also, you do have to take into account how natural pressures and things are going to affect the animals themselves. Now, you don't know 100% that no new DNA has been formed unless you're going to go through every single one of the cells that are in these containers and go through every single little one. Without a natural environment change or a pressure being put onto the cells, that mutation that might have occurred within the DNA may not become prevalent through the rest of the population. This would be easier without the risky.
My third point is interspecies mating. If it was natural that one species becomes another species through evolution, then we would see many examples where two different species can mate and produce viable, healthy offspring. Horses and donkeys can mate, but their offspring, the mule, is sterile. Tigers and lions can mate, but their offspring, ligers and taigans, tend to have poor fertility, health problems, and they are not found in the wild. If evolution was a valid theory, there would be much more examples of interspecies mating.
Oh well, luckily this is the last point. Oh, fucking hell. So, lions and tigers and bears, oh my! So, your idea that because tigers, though they can mate with lions and lions can mate with tigers, their offspring aren't very good, that this shows that evolution isn't true. Not the fact they're separated by around 3.6 million years of evolution. And yes, they did come from one species originally, and this is why they do share enough genetic material to mate with each other, but there's been differences over time that they then cannot produce offspring that then can produce it again. Now, what would happen if, after we keep reintroducing tigers and lions to each other over and over and over and over and over and over and over, if suddenly one day one of these lion, tiger, what are they, liger and tiger, whatever, cubs, was fertile and could have children? Would that then become a new species in your book, and would that then show evolution, or would you just say, oh, God did it? Your video has just been a joke. You've presented no actual evidence. I'm quite disappointed. If I'd been playing Evolution Bingo, my card would be basically empty. I'd only have like 2 spaces filled in. What a joke! Oh, never mind. Anyway, this was only a quick video for the week. It's a little bonus so I let you all down last week. And quite glad it was only a short video because I've got no Jack Daniels left. Oh, dear me. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I've been the Sarcastic Barman. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe down below. And always drink in moderation. Yeah, I should really take that word to heart. I am going to go sleep now. Bye!